All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you, and my famous spot is a Fish Friday here at Rosie's Corner. Come on down, get your pizza, your wings, your pasta, hot and cold subs, and more. They've got awesome entrees like your classic American burger, the stuffed shells, everything in between. Get it here at Rosie's Corner with desserts to go. And they've got Pepsi products and terrific salads, mac salad, pasta salad, chicken salad, you name it, right out of the cooler as well. And I would let you know, do try the garlic parm wings and the gold fever as well. Mac and cheese available today, French fries, coleslaw, etc. to go with your entree or your sandwich version of the Fish Friday. Make sure you stop by Rosie's Corner if you're in and around Central New York, just in front of the Brewerton Bridge off the Bartell Road exit. I am absolutely floored that the Montreal Canadiens are in the Stanley Cup Finals. I simply cannot believe it. How'd they get here? They got here by the typical Stanley Cup recipe, right? How do you get to a championship final in this sport? How do you win a Stanley Cup? Which, by the way, they haven't done since 1993, and that's the last time a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup by the same token. So this is a historical situation, perhaps in the making, and they beat Vegas 3-2 in overtime in Game 6 last night, in a game where I thought they pretty much had them the entire way because they used those things that they've been doing the entire time. And the comeback against the Toronto Maple Leafs, the series against Vegas especially, they made a really, really strong locomotive-type team in Vegas. They just made them look ordinary. I mean, it was that simple. Now, I understand that Vegas had the goaltending situation, which I completely disagree with. You've got to stay with your number one. I don't know what the heck Peter DeBoer was doing there. I think that was a terrible move. I know Marc-Andre Fleury had the gap behind the net there, I think, in Game 4, but was just a terrible, terrible decision to then flip-flop. You go with Leonard, Fleury. Never works. It never works. Go look at the numbers. It never works when you're flip-flopping. You got to have a clear-cut number one guy unless you have an injury, and then you have that little, that backup guy who's pretty good. But in this case, Marc-Andre Fleury is a multiple Stanley Cup champion. Marc-Andre Fleury is up at the top of the wins list, like behind a couple of goalies in the history of the game, and he's going straight to the Hall of Fame. Look, one little blunder there. I mean, come on, how do you sit him and then kind of go back and forth, teeter-tottering around with the goaltender? So that part of it was bad, but I credit Montreal more than anything in this series. I really do, and I'm stunned that they're here. They've utilized their forecheck. They are riding the back of Carey Price, the goaltender, and last but not least, they've got some young bucks going. Cole Caulfield is as good as anybody in the NHL right now. We talk about Matthews and McDavid and Eichel and McKinnon and Pasternak. The list goes on and on and on. Young, speed, skill, size. Caulfield is exactly that, and they've got a bunch of those guys now in Montreal. And by the way, Lehkonen scores the winner for them last night. This is a really solid Montreal team. You got to dive a little bit deeper because nobody jumps off the page at you. It's not like a firepower type Tampa team, the locomotive, big, strong guys who can score like a Vegas. They don't have a McDavid and a Draisaitl. It's a team that collectively, the parts of this team have been incredible together. And by the way, how about Shea Weber? Here's a guy who's an NHL veteran, a guy who hasn't really scored in the postseason, and he got a big goal last night for this Canadiens team, and he's brought just a ton of leadership for this club as well. But I just was really impressed with, the Canadiens making this Vegas team look ordinary. Where was the huge clutch stretch pass to Alex Tuck for a goal? Where was the grind in the corner and that big March assault goal, right? Like, where was the big Mark Stone play or two? Vegas' power play also left a lot out there to be desired. I was not very impressed with that. And also, I think instinct really played a part in this series. If you go back and watch the highlights of this game that Montreal won last night, you got a... it was a chip play. They won the puck back in the zone, and then a quick little angle stretch pass, and Caulfield just tips the puck up a little bit and makes the Vegas defenseman basically have to go and kind of turn and then chase towards the goal. And by that time, it was too late. Robin Leonard was beat on the shoulder, the tight shoulder side by Caulfield. I thought that was an unbelievable goal. for him. And Montreal's rolling right now. And I got to tell you, as we brace for Game 7, Tampa Bay and Islanders, and please don't give me the Islanders and the Canadiens in the final. I'll still watch every second of it, but no thanks. I want Tampa in there. I wanted Tampa in Vegas. I thought that would have been the best matchup. But I got to tell you, Montreal right now, they've come back from 3-1 in Toronto. They've beaten Vegas. Who are you scared of? Nobody, right? I mean, Montreal, by the way, has also gotten here by a little bit of luck, and that's okay because you need a little bit of luck in sports many times as well. I mean, you think about that piss-poor Canadian division that was going on in the NHL, Toronto, Winnipeg, postseason team, but the Vegas series is really the staple series for them in this playoff, I think, and this is a heck of a run. Carey Price has always had it in him. And I think it's going to be a really, 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 really good series and a hard series for the other side, no matter who comes out of this Game 7, whether it's Tampa or the New York Islanders. I think it's going to be a very, very difficult series because Tampa, they've got all the firepower, they've got stars, we know that, but Montreal, again, we just saw them neutralize a lot of that against the Vegas Golden Knights. The goaltending, kind of a toss-up at this point. I think Vasilevsky's the best goalie in the NHL, but right now, who's the best goalie in the NHL? Might be Carey Price. Yeah, between him and Vasilevsky, it's probably a toss-up if they were to make it. It might come down to the defenseman scoring. It might come down to special teams. But if it's the Islanders, you're going to have just grind on grind and a lunch bucket type deal with forwards who are better than a lot of people think out there. Marcel's better than people think. Bailey's better than people think. What a tremendous, tremendous job by Lou Lamoriello in terms of going out and getting Travis Zajac and going out and getting Kyle Palmieri and guys who can just completely and utterly change the game. The third line, the fourth line. That's the other thing. The depth of these teams has been terrific. Vegas was deep. Montreal showed we're a little deeper. Tampa Bay, depth. Islanders, depth. You got to have it. You got to have goaltending. You got to have depth. Your stars have to be better than their stars, and you got to win the special teams game. And so far, so good. The Montreal Canadiens are here, unbelievable in the Stanley Cup Finals. I did not see this one coming. ML right here with you. I almost said ML Sports Take, but a little bit of a longer version here with the video. 9 minutes with me from Rosie's Corner. Stop on by. Pizza, wings, pasta, hot and cold subs, and more. Gift cards are available for every single occasion here at Rosie's Corner. And don't forget about their stuffed shells, the classic burgers, you name it, salads to go, Pepsi products in the cooler, terrific selection of chips to go with your sandwich as well, all the Ruffles and the sour cream and onion and the cheddar and sour cream, you name it. They've got some of the baked Lays, etc. So get on down here to Rosie's Corner, and of course they will deliver via Grubhub as well. Hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports, and of course Instagram ML Sports Platter, Facebook ML Sports Platter, and all my videos across Twitter, Facebook, IGTV, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And make sure you download and subscribe to the ML Sports Platter podcast all over the major platforms. If you have an Apple phone, for example, find that purple podcast button, tap it, hit search, type in ML Sports Platter, hit subscribe, and you'll get new and archived episodes to your phone with the likes of Eric Wood, Mark Teixeira, Bob Costas, Adrian Wojnarowski, and a slew of best-selling authors and many more. The ML Sports Platter available on Apple, Google Play, Stitcher, Deezer, and Spotify, among others. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.